I do is this, I just put this up here.
Okay, so you'd rather have it here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
Yep.
Good morning. Greetings to all of you out there in the pews and those of you who are coming in soon from the lobby and to those who are joining us online. I welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Vero Beach, UUFVB. It's my privilege and pleasure this morning to be serving as pulpit host for our minister, Rev Tom Capo. Good morning, Rev Tom. And I got to tell you that I'm Jack Stiefel. I didn't say that, did I? My pronouns are he, his, and him. And I'm an older guy with white hair, no chin whiskers or facial hair. I wear glasses. My skin is light brown. And you, whether you are young or old, gay or straight, or identify in some other way, no matter what beautiful shade of brown you are, whether you're joyful and carefree, or perhaps burdened by the worries of the world, you are welcome here, just as you come to us. And a bit about us. UUFVB is a caring, liberal religious community. We encourage spiritual growth and we seek justice for all. That is our mission. And speaking of our mission, we are considering a new mission statement. Now, during coffee hour today, you will get your first look at the draft mission statement that is based on the 5 words this congregation came up with a few weeks ago. So, if you would like to have an opportunity to ask questions and make comments, find your way to the table near the windows in Fellowship Hall this morning after the service. But before our service begins, I want to extend a special welcome to you if this is the first time you've been here with us, or the second time, or the third. Please know that you are really welcome here and that we are happy to have you. Please join us after the service for refreshments and conversation. Just follow the crowd that way to Fellowship Hall, and please take a red mug so that we can identify you as our guest and give you a warm UU welcome. And a reminder for us all, please turn off your electronic devices this morning. Now, I invite you to greet one another, especially those you don't know or you don't know well. Seek those folks out.
Ding that dong. righty. It is our tradition to light a chalice at the beginning of our service, and then to say a few words that are meaningful to us, that set the stage for what we'll be talking about today. So if you'll join me. With this chalice, may we kindle the flame of our attention, not too fiery or wild, spreading without cause or care, not too dim or fading, unfocused and ineffective, but like a cheerful cook fire in a cozy hearth, like a comforting candle, flickering yet steady. May our attention be befriended, directed, and sustained for the betterment of all humankind.
Our opening hymn this morning is Who is My Neighbor? This is a new hymn. There was music out by the front door. Elise is going to play it through, and then we will sing verses 1 and 4.
I've enlisted, I have asked, and she said yes. And my wife Nancy's going to help with the reading this morning for our Story for All Ages. But first, a little bit of information that I didn't know about, and maybe you didn't either, don't know, but you will soon, about Ramadan. Our book this morning is entitled The Gift of Ramadan. But did you know that during Ramadan, which this year started on February 17 and ends this Thursday, March 19, Muslims fast from sunup to sundown, refraining from taking food and drink. While the age at which a Muslim begins to fast may vary from household to household, many children at the age of 7 and up will try to fast at least for a few hours. Each year they fast a little bit longer. Those who are not required to fast at all are the very young, the ill, the elderly, pregnant or nursing women, and those who are traveling. This sacred time of fasting enables people to spend their time focusing on what really matters to them: family, friends, helping others, and feeling close to Allah. It is about emptying oneself of all that is selfish, then filling oneself with all that is good, true, and beautiful. Just like Sophia does in this story. So here is a slightly abridged version of The Gift of Ramadan by Rabia York Lombard, and it's illustrated by Laura K. Horton. A rainbow of color winked at Sophia as she handed the Ramadan lights to her mama. These were her favorite decorations because they made her feel as though a special guest was coming. Grandma raised an eyebrow.
Pretty, pretty and sparkly, just like the heart of a person who fasts.
Sophia knew that fasting was not to eat or drink from sunup to sundown. I think we're a slide late. One more slide, I think. Am I wrong? Nope, back to...
Back.
We could start over. No. Sophia knew that fasting was to not eat or drink from sunup to sundown. Sophia loved food, but she also loved sparkles. Count me in, Sophia grinned. Mama awoke Sophia when it was so early not even the sun was awake. Sophia sat down to a breakfast of eggs, fruit, and Dad's pancakes, but she could barely keep her eyes open.
You have to eat, Grandma told her. It will chase away the hungries.
Sophia reached for a pancake, but a few minutes later... Time's up, Dad said. They got up from the table and unrolled the prayer rugs one by one. Sophia tried her best to stay awake, but the moment her head touched the ground, sleep came over her. Mama reached forward to nudge her, but Grandma waved her finger.
Let her sleep.
When Sophia woke for the second time, it was almost noon. Her tummy was empty and her throat was dry. But even drinking water was against the rules. So Sophia decided to stay busy. She read for a while. She organized the clothes in her closet from least to most sparkly. And then she drew. But her tummy began to gurgle louder and louder. Shh, Sophia said, I'm drawing. She glanced down at her paper. Yikes, she said, I've got to get out of here. Sophia found Adam in front of the TV. In his hand was a humongous cookie. He waved it in front of her face and sang, me cookie, yummy, yummy, yum, yum. Sophia's tummy roared. The cookie looked delicious. Please stop, she said, but Adam kept singing. She bit her lip. She wanted to yell. Instead, she ran out of the room to go hide in a closet. Her brother chased her. She hid, but Adam was still looking for her. Sophia turned on the light. Oh no, she thought, I really got to get out of here. But she couldn't. Adam was stomping by, still singing that song, me cookie, yummy, yummy, yum, yum. She plugged her ears. She closed her eyes. Sophia took a deep breath, and the scent of chocolate filled her nose.
What is this? Asked Grandma.
Sophia's eyes drifted to the floor. I got too hungry.
Oh, there, my love. No one expects you to fast for an entire day.
Grandma wrapped Sophia in a big hug.
There's always tomorrow, and the day after, and the next. You have a full month to keep trying.
But I wanted to feel sparkly now.
Oh, you are sparkly. I can see your sparkles growing.
Sophia shrugged. She didn't feel sparkly.
And did you know that there are other ways to celebrate Ramadan?
Sophia thought about that. She knew Mama read the Quran, and her dad said that Ramadan was a time for charity, a special kind of sharing for those who need special help. Then she glanced down at Grandma's hands. They were covered with flour. What are you making? She asked.
Oh, yummy food for our first iftar.
That's it, Sophia said. If she couldn't fast, then at least she could help people prepare dinner for those who did. Sophia put on her apron and got to work. She tossed the salad. Then she helped Grandma make 5 super sparkly pizzas, one for each member of the family. Sophia thought they were sparkly because they had extra cheese on them. Grandma thought it was because the fresh parsley had made them shine. When the oven buzzed, Sophia jumped up from her chair. The pizzas were finally done. But when Grandma opened the oven, smoke billowed out. Oh no, Sophia frowned. The top 3 pizzas were perfect, but the bottom 2 were burnt to a crisp. Don't worry, Grandma, said Sophia. I think I've got this. Sophia set the table. Then she asked Grandma to cut up the 3 perfect pizzas. Tiny slices were better than none. Sophia's family gathered around the table. They raised their hands and offered thanks. Then each drank water and ate a date. When there was only 1 slice of pizza left, Grandma insisted that Sophia take it.
You've earned it.
No thanks, Sophia smiled. She didn't want any more. She didn't need any more. Her heart was wonderfully full.
Now let's sing our children out to their classrooms.
As you journey, may you know, love and hope go with you, learn and grow.
This is the time in our service when we focus on our joys and sorrows. Oh, you're going to say that. I didn't say that.
So before we do our stones and water ritual, we started a new ritual. We're going to light a candle for peace in Ukraine, peace in the Middle East, peace between people in our country, peace in the hearts of those here gathered, and peace for anyone that needs it. May the silent recesses of each heart whisper its focus to each of you, and may your hopes for a better world come into being.
Thank you, Rev Tom. Now is the time in our service when we focus on our joys and sorrows, our gifts and our needs. Before us are bowls of water. Water, the sustenance of life. Water buoys us up. It nourishes, it cleanses and replenishes us. It is the source of life which creates beauty and also the making of tears. In this community, like water, we sustain each other. This is especially true when we buoy each other up in times of sadness, when we nourish one another in times of need, when we refresh one another with acts of kindness and generosity, and support one another when our hearts are weary and worn. Rev Tom will now add salt to the water for the tears that have fallen in the past week. Let us remember that there are some among us in pain. Let us be tender with each other, because we really don't know what is held in the silent sanctuary of someone else's heart. But the tears that have fallen from our eyes over the past week may also have included tears of joy and laughter for those uplifting moments when we were touched by the bounty and beauty of nature, by a hug or a smile, by a caring act of friendship. Tom will now add some flower petals to remind us of the beauty and joy that surround us. And now, if you would like to add a pebble for a joy or sorrow of your own to our collective bowl of care, I invite you to come forward. But first, we know that there are some that are with us online that would like a pebble placed in the water. And now, if some of you here would like Rev Tom to place a pebble for you, please raise your hand now. Now I invite you to come forward if you would like. May all that we offer one another keep us connected within this hour and within the week ahead. This is the time in our service when we express our gratitude and commitment by sharing our financial resources. To contribute to the fellowship, place your offering in an envelope found on the back of the pews, or donate to UUFVB by clicking on the QR code with your telephone. But our offering today also serves another purpose, that of supporting an organization that addresses the needs of the underserved in our community. That is the purpose of our Sunday Fund, one of our congregation's major social justice outreach efforts. The loose cash in our offering this morning supports Team Success Enterprises. Team Success aims to alleviate human suffering, homelessness, and hunger, provides mentoring programs and transportation for those in transitional housing, helps low-income people move to better housing, and promotes strong families with activities at the Hope for Families Center. So now as we receive the offering, let's do so generously and gratefully.
Thank you. Now is a time for prayer, meditation, reflection. During this time, I'll be guiding you through what's called a Ton Glen meditation. And there will be some time for silence at the end. If you engage in personal prayer or meditation practices, this is a great time for you to do so. If not, I invite you to simply be aware of the present moment. And in the words of Dr. Glenn Thomas Rideout, quiet is simply the absence of intentional adult talking and everything else is just a symphony of the universe. Tonglen is a Tibetan Buddhist spiritual practice focused on compassion. I found it very moving. So if anything becomes too much for you as you do this, you're always welcome to take a break. Instead of avoiding suffering, we will take it into ourselves this morning, filter it, and release compassion and hope to all those around us and to the world. So I invite you into a time, a space for prayer or meditation. Each of us has our own way to enter that space. You might take a deep, slow breath. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. You might let your eyes rest or close. And bring your attention within. Let us begin this time with the self. Imagine a cloud of suffering you carry with you. However light or dense, I invite you to bravely breathe in that miasma and filter it through you and release kindness, healing, and anything else you need. You are powerful enough to turn suffering into goodness. Just breathe and release. Now, expand your awareness to your closest loved ones and to those sitting around us this morning. Imagine their cloud of suffering. Though you may not know the details, I invite you to breathe in their dark cloud. To filter it through you and release kindness, healing, and anything else you wish for them. You are powerful enough to turn suffering into goodness. Just breathe and release. Finally, the big one. Let's expand our awareness to the entire world. Picture the cloud of suffering that we see in the everyday news, everything going on in the world causing suffering. I know it is immense. But together, we are powerful. And I invite us to breathe in all that suffering. Filter it through you. And release kindness, healing, and anything else that you wish out to the world. We are powerful enough to turn suffering into goodness. Just breathe and release. May we continue to channel suffering into goodness. May it always be so.
The song we are about to sing is from the Broadway musical Hadestown by Anais Mitchell. It's based on two Greek myths, but it's set in a post-apocalyptic world. This specific song is set in the underworld, hell. Kevin Eckstein is Hades. The choir are his children, workers, hence our attire. This is a song about isolationism. We present why we build the wall.
My children, what do we have that they should want?
What do we have that they should want? We have a wall to work upon. We have work and they have none.
And our work is never done. My children, and the war is never won.
The enemy is poverty, and the wall keeps out the enemy. And we build the wall to keep us free.
That's why we build the wall. We build the wall. Keep us free.
We build the wall to keep us free.
Just amazing. Thank you. We are in the midst of the Islamic holy days of Ramadan. The story you heard earlier allows us to experience the humanity of a little girl trying to understand the meaning of Ramadan. Fasting was uncomfortable for her. It didn't help that her little brother kept teasing her with a cookie. Sophia, which by the way means wisdom, believed that fasting was the only and the best way of observing the holy days. However, she came to realize that reading the Quran, focusing on charity, and preparing dinner for those who've been fasting were all equally important ways to honor her holy day. The story doesn't simply teach us about Ramadan. It's a parable about the humanity in all of us, the capacity for compassion, kindness, sympathy. You might wonder what that looks like, feels like. Well, for me, I think our very human connection with one another, our empathy, our too common struggles to cope with what life puts in front of us. This is what I think is our common humanity. I also think what our common humanity is our connection with one another. How we practice kindness, understanding, forgiveness, anchoring ourselves in our shared humanity helps us resist giving in to fears, prejudice, and misunderstandings. Help us resist judging those around us and acting on that judgment without compassion or empathy. Miller Williams writes in this short poem, "Have compassion for everyone you meet, even if they don't want it. What seems conceit, bad manners, or cynicism is always a sign of things no ears have heard, no eyes have seen. You do not know what wars are going on down there where the spirit meets the bone." Right after 9/11, 2001, when the Twin Towers came down, I realized that because of my fears, I didn't trust people from the Middle East, who had Middle Eastern descent. I realized this when I went to Kroger the next day, and a young Middle Eastern man, no more than 18, was sacking my groceries. I found myself shaking just being near him. He looked at me, neither smiling nor frowning, focused on precisely putting my groceries in their bags, cold with cold, fragile with fragile. But as I looked at him, I believed he was going to harm me. I felt a hollowness in the pit of my stomach, and I desperately wanted to be away from him. I was genuinely afraid. And I knew I had to confront my own irrational fear of him, to work through it. Otherwise, it would grow and fester until my actions would begin to reflect that growing prejudice within me. When we develop a prejudice, whether toward a person or toward a group, we put a wall between ourselves and the person or group that we fear or hate. We see that person or persons as objects, not human like us. Things with no feelings, no similarities to us. We make them objects so that we can act toward them in whatever negative or destructive way we want, without guilt or remorse. In fact, we might even feel a little self-righteous about how we treat the other. When I find myself going down this path, and we are all susceptible to it, it helps me to read this meditation by Unitarian Universalist Reverend Richard Gilbert. It goes, the human race is a vast rainbow, white, black, red, yellow, brown, bursting into view, yet for all blood is red, the sky is blue, the earth is brown, the night dark. In size and shape, we are a varied pattern of tall and short, slim and stout, elegant and plain. Yet for all there are fingers to touch, hearts to break, eyes to cry, ears to hear, mouths to speak. While boundaries may divide us, lines drawn to mark our diversity, maps charted to separate the human race from itself. Yet a mother's grief, father's love, a child's happy cry, a musician's sound, an artist's stroke, batter the boundaries, shatter the walls. Strength and weakness, arrogance and humility, confidence and fear live together in each one of us, reminding us that we share a common humanity. We are all more human than otherwise. I've recently been told that I am too nice. Never? Okay. Perhaps it's true. I do try to help those I perceive in need. The flawed, the marginalized, the struggling. I want to empower them, help them find their place or direction in the world. Give them a voice when others may not listen to them. This is one of the reasons I was drawn to the people in Fellsmere, to the migrant farm workers, to those struggling against ICE attacks and increased prejudice. But I have to remember to be careful when being nice to anyone. I can't fix the problem that they're suffering. I can't give them advice, particularly unsolicited advice. I don't want to cause them more stress by trying to help them. My intention is to ground my actions in the spirit of love and compassion, and I hope that's your intentions as well. When we ground ourselves in our shared humanity, we can truly help one another. Help our allies. Help those who are genuinely in need of help. We, as Unitarian Universalists, are also called to show grounded love and compassion. And this may be the challenge to those who are divisive, uncaring, aggressive, and are prejudiced. We ground ourselves in love. Sometimes, even when we ground ourselves in love, we have to understand that relationships are complicated. Our help may be misinterpreted. This happened this week, and I want to tell you about it. One of the members of our congregation, Ellie, is around here somewhere. Oh, there she is. She said I could say her name, so it's okay. Was visiting the Migrant Farm Worker Association building. She was getting some Spanish lessons, a little dialogue, improving her Spanish. Maria, you met her a few weeks ago. She was up here in the chancel telling us about what the people there are suffering. And she runs the Fellsmere office of the Migrant Farm Worker Association. Maria came over to Ellie and shared that she was tired and overwhelmed. Her job is to do the work assigned to her by the Florida office of the migrant farm workers, doing things like speaking to farm workers in the surrounding counties about the effects of pesticides on them. She does this from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Maria said that the work she is doing with us, UUFVB, is voluntary, not part of her job. And she's stressed by the work that she does for her job and the sometimes frequent calls from us and visits by members of the congregation. And having to come over to the fellowship to talk about the Farm Workers Association to the Sunday Fund, and not being able to fill out the Sunday Fund form to receive our weekly donations. She appreciates everything that we're doing, believe me. The food we bring, the money we offer. But she does all this in her spare time. Not for her work, not her job. And she's, we bring over the rice and the beans and the oil and the maseca flour, and she separates them on her own time into small bags for each family who comes to her office in need. I think Maria has just reached burnout. But fortunately, one of our members was there to listen, not fix. What Maria is experiencing is a very human response to that which many of us might experience in her situation. And what she wanted was just for someone to listen. Not fix, not do anything other than just listen. And I'm so grateful that you did. I can already hear the gears in your minds trying to come up with solutions. And maybe some of you are wondering, well, maybe we shouldn't continue doing this. Put those thoughts away. A very compassionate and loving response is to keep listening. How Maria wants us to help, what she needs, and what boundaries she needs to set with us. Not for us to stop helping, but to continue listening. Listening to her and the people in Fellsmere in their own language and in places where they feel safe. In Fellsmere. American author, educator, and activist Parker J. Palmer wrote, "Here's the deal. The human soul doesn't want to be advised or fixed or saved. It simply wants to be witnessed. Be seen, heard, and companioned exactly as it is. When we make that kind of deep bow to the soul of a suffering person, our respect reinforces the soul's healing resources, the only resources that really help the sufferer make it through." So I have to say to all of you, and to me too, we need to be patient in this process of being in relationship with the migrants in Fellsmere. We're building deep human relationships of trust, of understanding, and empathy. And that takes patience. We need to be flexible enough to help the Fellsmere population in the way they tell us they want to be helped. We're going to continue to collect food, but in discussion with Maria, we will discern what best and how best to do that. We can't simply just drop in unannounced at their headquarters, expecting them to drop everything and give us their attention, to accommodate us. We need 1 or 2 or 3 people who will be primary contacts with Maria, people who speak Spanish, people who are willing to go to Fellsmere, or people who already go to Fellsmere. We need to walk beside the Fellsmere population and not ask them to follow our lead. Continuing in the spirit of love and compassion in this divisive and increasingly prejudiced time we live in, I believe part of our very human response is certainly not being passive. We cannot be like so many others, passive witnesses to the malignant prejudices around us. We must stand with the victims in whatever way they may need us to stand with them. We may not be able to stop the perpetrators who are bigger and stronger or more powerful, but we can be there. And we can tell the world of the injustices and prejudices we've witnessed. One way that we can do that, and I'm thinking maybe we could put this on our website. When Maria and Blanca came to speak their truth here, we have a video of that. Maybe we could put that on our webpage for other people to see and to hear Maria and Blanca's voices and their experiences. That's where the video is right now on our webpage, on our YouTube page. We may not be able to fix everything, and I'm sure we can't, or right all the injustices, or stop all the prejudice, but maybe we could bear witness. Maybe we could put something on our webpage where their voices can be heard. The witness we offer and the work we do, my friends, is already rippling out to illuminate our common humanity. Did you know that our Fellsmere project is resulting in spontaneous fundraising by members of this congregation? And people like Education Champions, who meet here in this building, just donated more food for the people of Fellsmere. And I'm receiving calls frequently from people in the community, people who've met me or heard about the church, asking how they can help. Our seemingly ordinary, yet really quite extraordinary acts of generosity are rippling positively further and further out into the wider community. You should be very proud. We're weaving the greater Vero Beach community in ways that we could not have predicted. All because this community here, the people in these pews, said yes. Let us continue to be that light that the world very much needs right now. Thank you so much for what you're doing. I'm so proud. Amen.
Our final hymn today is also not in our hymnal. However, it's called From Wisdom Emerging. It is a very familiar tune. You won't have any trouble picking it up, but I think the words are very appropriate. Please rise as you are willing and able.
Would you put up the next slide, please? Oh, there it is. Good. My friends, as a benediction today, or as we end the service, I invite you to join me in reading the draft mission statement that we have just created. You'll have an opportunity to talk about it in the coffee hour, but I'd like us to read it to see how it feels. So if you'll join me, because we are a welcoming, liberal, courageous community, a beacon of love, we support social justice causes and spiritual growth as we work toward a more compassionate and just world. Amen.